From the Major Label Debut Podcast Network, this is MLD News. I'm Graham Wright, and joining me for a little bit of shameless self-promotion, and then later slightly less shameless promotion of our friends and colleagues here at Major Label Debut, it's Major Label Debut producer John Paul Bullock. John Paul, how is your holiday season going so far?
It's going spectacularly well, Graham.
Attaboy. I
am having a lot of fun running around town, doing stuff, getting ready for a little East Coast travel. Sadly, not to Toronto, but I will get to see a bunch of family and friends. But in the meantime, Los Angeles is abuzz with holiday cheer.
And also abuzz with holiday cheer, me and Josh. And
nice transition.
It's called segueing. It's a professional trick. Sign up for my master class to learn more. It's 8 hours on how to get to that. That's right. Here on Major Label Debut, we don't just talk about other people's music. We talk about our own music when we have it to talk about. And I'm so happy to talk about Girlfriend Material, my band, with Josh Hook, producer of this podcast, with Jake Boyd, drummer of the great Canadian band Colorado, with Joseph Garand, our friend and public servant here in Ontario, you know, somebody doing a real job. We put out a Christmas record. Girlfriend Material has an album called Hyped for the Holidays, which is streaming now. And to kick off, we thought we would chat about it very briefly.
Well, I'll tell you right now, even though I love you and I love doing this podcast and I've been a fan of all of your musical output, I think this is a particularly great installment of the Graham Wright musical journey. And the fact that you did it with these guys who are each so spectacularly talented is it is the kind of Christmas album I always wanted. Didn't really know I needed, although I did know you were making this. And I'd love to hear you sort of take us through the long and winding road towards release of Hype for the Holidays.
Yeah, well, I started writing Christmas music for Girlfriend Material 2017, 2018, when the band was pretty new. And I have always had a real sentimental attachment to the Christmas season and to the traditions. You know, Tokyo Police Club years ago did a couple of Christmas-themed shows in Toronto, the first one of which you came to town for. And we had snow machines inside, and we wore sweaters, and we covered Christmas music and stuff. And it was really special and beautiful, and I and Josh as well were really keen to sort of turn it into an annual event. But Tokyo was also like a professionally operating band with other tours, and we had to promote stuff, and locking a hometown show in December every year can get in the way of those things. And so it ended up not turning into a tradition, but my love of that tradition never left me. And when Girlfriend Material got going, I thought, oh my God, we'll make a little Christmas EP every year. And I sat in this very chair in my studio and home recorded for 3 years in a row, home recorded some Christmas music. And that's where the songs on this record were written. And they were initially released with like canned home studio drums and like amp simulator, like totally headphone created music, which was fine, but, you know, didn't really make a big splash in the world of Christmas music. But I always really felt like the songs, they're really earnest and they're not, I thought that it was a really original idea to make Christmas music for an indie rock band. And as we have come up on the release of this album, I have become more and more aware that it's not an original idea at all. And everyone thinks it's a brilliant moneymaker to put out Christmas music. But the thing is, I feel like almost all the Christmas music I see, almost like all the ugly Christmas sweater merch, is kind of like glib and winking. Yeah, and self-aware and sort of like honestly kind of contemptuous of like the corniness of the idea of putting out earnest Christmas music, which is fair enough because there's a lot of crappy earnest Christmas music over many years. But I love Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney, and I love simply having a wonderful Christmas time at Christmas. And the Girlfriend Material songs are not tongue-in-cheek and they're not glib. They're more earnest than I even think I intended to make them. And there was moments putting this together when I was kind of embarrassed by how hard on sleeve They are. But of course, I think that at Christmas, that is the only way to be. And it's the only good way to make music anyway. So anyway, suffice it to say, we finally got the actual band together in the studio and we cut all these songs live off the floor. And so it's the best sounding Girlfriend material music, period. It's one of my favorite musical projects I've ever been part of. And there's like jingle bells jingling on every festive track. So really, what's not to like?
Well, two things I love about it are the fact that you get to start this tradition of having Christmas shows the way you always intended. And it's like my probably single favorite piece of Tokyo Police Club merch that I own is the ugly Christmas sweater poster from that first. So I hope that you can find a way to either find that artist again and have that person make a variant of it for these moving forward, or find something similar that becomes as iconic in my mind. And then two, the thing that I love is that everyone can share in this experience, regardless of where they are in the world, because you made very smartly a fireplace video on YouTube, which alert, I will put in the link to this video right at the top of a bunch of links that are going to be in here. But you can stream it and listen to it on all the services. Hopefully one day there will be a nice, peppermint colored vinyl release of it.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say like a Blu-ray release of the,
Blu-ray.
that
means
it's coming out on Criterion next year.
That, and I mean, maybe you can have them packaged together like a deluxe box set. But I do think that I wish that I could come. You're playing a show, right?
Yeah. Well, we're taping this in advance slightly. So what day does this episode go out? Do you have, sorry, pop quiz producer? You have it on your calendar?
I can look it up right now. It is coming out on the day of next week, which is Wednesday, the 17th of December.
Okay, yes. So if you're in Toronto and you're listening to this before the 18th, I have a show in the evening of the 18th at Dina's in Toronto, which used to be the Silver Dollar, which is an amazing, it's like this classic Toronto venue that was around for years and years where Tokyo played some great early shows. And then it got demolished and replaced with a condo. But part of the deal was the condo people had to rebuild the venue to spec. And so there's an identical copy of the Silver Dollar newly built in the same location. And it's called Dina's now. And that's where the Christmas show will be happening. It's pay what you can, and all the proceeds go to a good cause. So come on out if you haven't missed your opportunity already.
Well, I wish I could be there. Yeah,
me too.
To hear
but
all these songs.
Hopefully every year the band will build a tradition. And, I really want to try and make this one stick and not just fizzle out after 3 years. So we'll all
next
work
year
on it together.
I'll be there. You hear that, Toronto? I'm coming for you. And then also, the point of this podcast, other than the shameless promotion of an excellent record made by Graham and Josh and the entire Girlfriend material apparatus, the other two guys in that band are ridiculous rippers. Like, absolutely. Both incredible. And I mean, all four of y'all together make for, I hope that there's also future Girlfriend material releases that are non-Christmas related, because I love the records you've made before this. So
we're thinking Easter next.
I like that. Although that's my holiday, so back off.
That's right. Well, you can fly us in.
That's right. Come in, play although I know that Josh would not want to perform on Easter because he is too busy eating pizza.
I respect that greatly.
All right. Also, like, part of this episode, the second
our
half,
tradition, the MLD holiday tradition,
is to promote recent material from all of the incredible artists who were so thankful came on the show this year. And I'm just going to rattle off like an incredible list of awesome gift ideas for you. And it's going to start with a spoiler, which is actually not a spoiler. By the time you consume this episode, Dan will have already appeared on the podcast because he's coming on tomorrow, Wednesday, December 10th. But Dan Mangan, the incredible Canadian artist, has a great new record called Natural Light. There'll be links in the description of everything. I'll post all this stuff on social, but there'll be a link to that. Go listen to it, buy a copy, stream it, however you consume music, please consume it. Also, we just had a great episode with Keith Murray. There's a beautiful, from We Are Scientists, there's a 20th anniversary reissue of their landmark major label debut, With Love and Squalor, that you can get from their website. Chris Stamey from the DBs was on the show. He has an awesome new record called Anything Is Possible that is also in there. And Morgan Nagler, who is producing music like no one else I know, has a great new single from this year called Cradle of Pain, which I've seen her perform twice, and both times I got the feels and felt overwhelmed by it. It's such a gorgeous song. And then finally, before I hand this off to Graham to do what I'm doing, I'll say Mr. Dave Alvin of the Blasters and the Third Mind and the X and all these great bands that he's been in, and as a solo touring musician has a bunch of new stuff out right now. He has a new album with the Third Mind called Right Now. And then also he has a first vinyl pressing of this really, really wonderful Merle Haggard tribute album called Tulare Dust. And that'll be in there too.
And per Dave Alvin's advice, if you have any aspiring musicians in your life and you're able to track down a particular 80s issue of Playboy magazine, it features the interview with John Lennon that Dave Alvin recommends as sort of like a one-stop songwriting school from the masters. So, you know, get like your 12-year-old nephew who just got into music, get him a vintage Playboy for
just
Christmas.
Got into music.
It's called reading it for the articles. Kids have to learn. We talked to Monique Powell from Save Ferris on this show this year. Amazing episode. They have a new single out called Get Dancing, and they've been releasing new music sort of like a song at a time every few months. So keep an eye on that. I bet they'll have like a record or a 7-inch collection or something to sell. Nels Cline, the great guitarist Nels Cline, has a new album called Concentric Quartet, which is amazing. And his major label debut, Lovers, is still available as well. If you have any jazz fans or fans of like the best guitar player maybe on earth in your family or friend group, Nels Cline, great gift. The Museum of Home Video, run partially by our friend Brett Berg, who we did the Doors movie edit with, which was an incredible, feverish episode of major label debut that I remember more like a dream than a memory, but so much the better for it. Museum of Home Video has a Patreon, and I think that like subscriptions and Patreons can be a great gift because it gives someone something they can access all year long, and it like literally keeps an amazing project like the Museum of Home Video going for another year, which is a good deed. Couple of books to mention. Alan Siegel's book, Stupid TV, Be More Funny, an oral history. It's not quite an oral history, a very thoroughly researched history with a lot of interviews and other like incredible facts, trivia, and context about the history of America's favorite family, The Simpsons, who themselves debuted with a Christmas-themed episode longer ago than I've been alive. That book is available and really well worth reading, as is Tearing Down the Orange Curtain by Nate Jackson and Daniel Kohn, which is sort of a history of OC punk, which, as I learned when I read the book, birthed a staggering number of bands who went on to great fame, acclaim, notoriety, and, to change the world of music altogether. And before I throw it back to John Paul, I will mention our good friend Brendan Bourke, who, as a publicist, I guess you could buy your friends like a month of Brendan's services as a publicist.
That'd be far too expensive.
Or you could
are very rich.
If you work for like a publication, you could put his acts on the front page. That would be a gift to him from me. Or you could pick up some of the acts that he's working with lately, like Big Special, who are from Birmingham, England, or Moon Panda from San Diego. They both have great music out that would make a wonderful gift for the music lover on your list. John Paul?
We've got a 30th anniversary reissue of Green Day's Dookie that was produced by major label debut guest Rob Cavallo. Come on, buy another copy of Dookie. You need it to help them get to I don't know, what is it when you sell 30 million?
Diamond,
like,
I think.
Triple diamond?
Some
kind of thriller level of thriller. I don't know. It's just help Rob buy a summer home. I don't know what's going on in his life, but just help all those people. Green Day needs your help.
Green Day needs your help. And for that 11-year-old nephew, like a beautiful vinyl Dookie reissue is the perfect thing to slide the Playboy magazine inside so the parents can see it. Yeah.
It's like, we have Guster's Ryan Miller, who I'm almost positive, Ryan, if you're listening to this, I saw you in Silver Lake and you were wearing spectacular pants. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I was like, is that Ryan Miller?
The pants make me think it's true. He has cool pants.
Yeah, I mean, he's a cool guy, and like he has spectacular style. That's the third time I've used the word spectacular in this podcast. They have a 2024 album called Ooh La La that you should already be familiar with, but if you're not, check it out. Also, they're relentlessly touring because they're awesome. Ryan, thank you for being on the podcast in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And thank you for being awesome and making great music.
I have to open TikTok to caption all of the video clips we make because it's the easiest way to caption videos that I've found. And we follow on the MLD TikTok account, we follow Guster. So whenever I open TikTok, I see what's going on with Guster. And I got to say, they have a great TikTok account. Yeah. I really understand it.
Their social media game is strong. Very strong.
And real, it's authentic to a band of their age. It doesn't feel weird or forced or embarrassing. It's just really solid, interesting stuff.
And finally, before I throw this back to Graham, I'd like to promote everything, speaking of strong social media games, by American hero Lisa Fancher, who is the founder of Frontier Records, is my just a all-around great follow across all the platforms, but go buy every single album she's ever put out. They're all good. Every single one.
We had the legend Richard Barone from the Bongos on the show, and the Bongos, right around when we had Richard on, put out a live album of them playing live in 1985. It's called The Shroud of Turin, which I eventually figured out, the Shroud of Turin, which is also Christmas related due to Christ.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's available on, wherever music is attainable. And also Richard has a book, and if you look him up online, he is constantly moving, shaking, working, playing at various gigs in and around New York. He seems to be a genuinely tireless musician and celebrator and scholar of music, and everything he does is really interesting and cool.
Just did a cool tour with the Pylon Reenactment Society. I mean, he's everybody loves Richard, and he is another person who has a strong social media game, good to follow across all platforms.
Yep. Greg Alsop, Greg's episode, this is a spoiler. Greg of Tokyo Police Club and of the major label debut theme song.
And of my heart.
And of our hearts deep in them. Greg was on the show in the spring, and we had an amazing conversation about... It was supposed to be about making music for podcasts and television shows, and instead we just unpacked our feelings about the Tokyo Police Club farewell tour and subsequent retirement. That episode is going to re-air in an encore presentation next week, I believe, on Christmas Eve. So if you're traveling or not traveling and just looking for something to listen to while you stare out the window morosely, that is a great episode. Lots of feelings in that one.
Greg, we should make Greg put up the theme song to the show on all the platforms, because it's such an incredible piece of music that he made for us, because he's kind and smart and wanted to support us, and I can't thank him enough for it. And he is the soundtrack to Major Label Debut.
Absolutely. And he's in a group called Delta Underground, and they have a new single that came out earlier this year called I Won't Give You Up, which you can listen to and probably purchase in, however tracks are purchased. It changes so often, but you can get them. You can throw Greg 99 cents for his song. I bet he'll figure out a way to get it to you. Bob Lee, drummer of 1 million bands, approximately, was on the show to talk all about that. That was a great conversation. Bob was so cool. And his band, Astral Jets, he was on to talk about his band Clawhammer. Like I said, he's in a lot of bands, but Astral Jets is the new one, and they have an album out that you can purchase, stream, listen to, and enjoy, and gift perhaps most importantly.
Josh and I went to see them.
Oh, yeah.
And they were fantastic to play with Mike Watt and a bunch of other cool people. And they rip, and the drums were a particularly great part of that.
Before I hand it back to you, I will say that one of my favorite episodes we did all year was our conversation with Bob Berryhill of the Surfaris. The Surfaris wrote Wipeout, which, as I said at the time of the episode, is a song that it kind of shocked me to realize was written rather than just sort of like has been emanating from the heart of the earth since time immemorial. Bob he got into making rock and roll music with electric guitars before the Beatles came out. And talking to Bob was like getting messages from a world that I just can't even conceive of. He is funny, wise, and thoroughly experienced. And there's a 60th anniversary pressing of Wipeout. And I think that everyone needs to know that song and own that song, at any time of year.
Yeah, and I think it's like become I think it's hard to find, sold out already and hard to find. Rob Derhak from Mo was on. That was a big deal for me. Rob's band continues to be totally great. They have an excellent album from this year called Circle of Giants. Go listen to it. Go see them live. They're out there doing it over and over and over again and making cool, weird music that will inspire you and get you happy. Also, another prolific couple of people, Colin and Malka from Immersion and Swim Records, and Colin was in Wire, and Malka was in Minimal Compact. They have a new Immersion album called WTF ? That is so good. All the Immersion output that they've done is so good, but it is a rabbit hole. Go down that hole, get all those records, get deep into it, going back to the 70s to Wire and into the 80s through Malka's bands. And I just buy them all, listen to them all. They have podcasts. They are like playing shows, touring all over England, UK, and Europe. The two of them are a genuine inspiration. And also, like, to watch a married couple make music in this way together for such a long period of time and have the output be so consistently great, and for them also to do it in such a honorable, not corny way. It is real inspiration if you're in the need for. Everyone needs it, so just do that. Also, if you are looking to buy a home in the Toronto area, might I suggest realtor and Watchmen Sammy Kohn.
Sammy Kohn, great episode. I was thinking of Sammy the other night. I was walking down Church Street here in Toronto, and I passed a hotel. I think it's called like the Town Inn or whatever. And I used to live like 2 blocks south of it, and I would always see flight attendants would stay there. And this was when I was in my early 20s, so I'd be coming and going at all hours, and I'd always see flight attendants. And in researching the interview with Sammy that we did this year, I found that was where the Watchmen, who are a Winnipeg band, whenever they came to Toronto, they would stay at that hotel. And so I have on my phone a number of selfies of me in front of it I took to send to Sammy, but they're really bad and it was cold out and I've been walking for a while. So my face looks bad. And then I realized I was standing at like a major intersection and everyone was looking at me out of their cars while I took my selfies. So I didn't send any to Sammy because I didn't like how I looked in them. So that's just a little Christmas gift to me and whoever's from the FBI is monitoring my phone. Oh, Vashti Bunyan. The great Vashti Bunyan, who I was just citing to someone as an example of how shocked I am when some people say, sure, I'll be on your podcast, Graham, right? It's like, Vashti Bunyan? I remember when she said she would come on the show, we were all sort of briefly struck dumb. And it's a wonderful episode. Her album, Just Another Diamond Day, is beloved for great reason, but she has 2 other records, including one called Look Aftering, which just got a 20th anniversary beautiful reissue this year. And it's like a total different side of Vashti, and it really, for me at least, recontextualized her whole musical identity. And, it's just a beautiful object, and it's a beautiful selection of music as well. And I think it would be a really beautiful gift.
I agree wholeheartedly. Get it right now. Also, we had Ned Brower of Rooney, and also The Pit, the giant smash hit HBO Max show, The Pit. And Ned is still making tons of music with lots of cool people. But if you want to see Ned, I suggest that you stream The Pit. Like it's going to win a bunch of awards. I think it's already won some, but it is a kind of a beautiful throwback to television from a different era. It features a star from television from a different era, and it features Ned, also a star, also one of the guests on this show. We are so grateful that he was there.
Also, Ned's career path from Rooney drummer to paramedic, and then because he was a paramedic, he got hired to do like consulting for The Pit, and then that turned into a job acting on The Pit. So Ned is just killing it.
I mean, nonstop. And finally, the first guest of this year that we had was Soul Asylum's Dave Pirner, which, wow. I mean, we have been so fortunate with all the people that were on this show this year. I mean, just banger after banger after banger after banger. And Dave Pirner is no exception to that. The Soul Asylum has a new album that came out this year that's called Slowly But Surely. And the name Shirley, it's great, as is all the classic Soul Asylum. Like, you know, the guy's been doing it forever, part of a bunch of different scenes, part of a bunch of different sort of eras of music. And he was so kind to give his time to do this. And the record rips. Go check it out. Go see them on tour. He's another guy who's like touring, never stops touring. And I'm very thankful for that you get a chance to see him. I saw him, I think 2 years ago at McCabe's, a really cool guitar store in Santa Monica. Shout out McCabe's. And where they have a small venue in the back, and he did an acoustic set where he played a bunch of Soul Asylum hits and then other stuff that was more, kind of, you know, deep cuts, including, you know, just it was everything I wanted. And I think that if you go see that band, you go see Dave Pirner, he's going to give you everything you want and more. So please support all these artists. We're so thankful that they came on our show. I, more than anything, want you to support Graham's project. I want you to listen to or watch the Girlfriend Material, just stare into the burning flames of the Girlfriend Material Yule log fireplace video, and you may see God. You may have a genuine religious experience, which I think is the purpose of earnest Christmas music, right? Is to bring you closer to the holy.
I believe that's correct. Yeah. And we do have a few fast-paced versions of Christmas hymns on there. So for God, shout out the Christ Child, and the Virgin Mary.
There you go.
This one's for you.
I will have links to all this stuff down below wherever you're listening to this or watching this. Please support these artists. They gave their time and art to us, and to tell their stories is such an incredible gift. So I feel very thankful of that. I'm also very thankful for you, Graham Wright, and for the beautiful Josh Hook, and for the beautiful Greg Alsop, who gave his awesome theme song to us. Thank you all for listening to this. Thank you for being supportive. We've had an incredible year, and we have so much good stuff coming. We've already recorded a bunch of episodes for next year.
Yeah.
This thing, it's amazing to me how many people have stopped me and told me that they've been listening and that they have enjoyed interviews with all these folks. And I just am so happy to be able to keep doing this. And we got a lot more coming your way.
Thank you so much for listening, John Paul. Thank you for podding and producing all this year. John Paul Bullock, producer of the show. And Josh Hook, also producer of the show. We love you, Josh. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, bud.
Hi, Josh.
And Greg Alsop, mentioned repeatedly, but one more time again now. Listen to the encore presentation of my conversation with Greg. It rocks. And obviously, if anyone in that gift guide, you said to yourself, oh my God, I didn't know that Colin Newman was on Major Label Debut. Well, just scroll back in the feed, my good friend. It's all there. A gift for you from us. That's your MLD news for this week, but Major Label Debut will return with more tales from the intersection of art and Christmas. So
Happy holidays.
happy holidays.